evening, everyone, or rather good afternoon. It's been 3 weeks, I think, 3 to 4 weeks since my last class. Okay, so today I would like to present a question, an essay question actually, which I think many people would find challenging, okay, in the sense that they wouldn't know how to properly tackle the question. Maybe do not know how to write it, do not know how to present the answer. So I hope that today I'll be able to answer your questions and help you to ace your SPM, okay, the coming SPM. All right, okay, so let me share screen today. I think from the thumbnail, you will see what topic I'm going to discuss today. All right, today I'm going to discuss an essay question on the human heart. Okay, so essay question is 20 marks. So it'll be broken up to a few sections. Okay, so I'm going to tell you how to answer it and present you with the answer scheme. All right, okay, so let me share screen. All right, okay, so this is my opening slide, right? So this is the second class for this year, actually for Teknik Menjawab lah, right? Teknik Menjawab. Normally I would have had classes throughout the whole year, but I've already completed the Form 4 syllabus, and next year I will start with the Form 5 syllabus to complete the entire syllabus. All right, okay, so since the SPM is just around the corner, so I would like to use the time to discuss questions. All right, okay, so I hope you can see this, all right? So I'm going to, wait, let me open up my slides. Yeah, all right, I can see it now. Okay, so now just a little bit about myself here. I noticed that a lot of students, they do not know me because I've stopped presenting for some time. Maybe you are new. So I would just like to introduce myself. My name is Puan Chong Pei Yi. I'm from Ipoh, Perak. I'm currently still a teacher in a secondary school. And I've been teaching for more than 30 years, right? 31 years and 4 months to be exact. And my option is biology and English, right? I did double major in University Science Malaysia. All right, okay, so that's enough about me. So let me go straight to, let me go straight to the next slide, which is the question. So at first, maybe I would like to see whoever is in the class here, maybe you would like to say hi to me, so I wouldn't know. The previous students would have finished my SPM, so I knew a few last time, so I'm maybe a new batch. So if you'd like to let me know who you are, just type in say hi and I can see your name. All right, okay, so let me start now. Okay, all right. Wait, I opened the wrong thing. Okay, hi. Okay, who's this? Sri Siva. All right, Sri Siva, good afternoon and welcome to my class. Okay, so I hope that my class will be able to help you in any way possible to help you to answer some questions. All right, let's look at the first question. Okay, this is an essay question that is worth 20 marks. Okay, my slides are in dua bahasa. So people who are kalau murid-murid menduduki biologi dan bahasa Melayu, okay, no problem there because my answers, my slides, everything is in dua bahasa. And I'll have a repeat of this class in DM that will be on Monday, all right, at 9:30 p.m. the coming 2 days later, all right, on the IU Academy YouTuber, all right. So I will be sharing the slide, the link later lah, right. Okay, so diagram 1.1 shows a longitudinal section of a human heart. Okay, so you can definitely recognize this as a human heart. And they label here, there are two labels here. One is sinoatrium node, okay, or SA node. Okay, and then the other one is K. All right, you can see, you should know what K is. Okay, now the question, what is structure K and its function? All right, okay. So Sri Siva, do you think you know the answer to that? Cikgu Hasnita, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Cikgu Hasnita. Thank you for joining my class and giving me moral support. Yeah, all right. Okay, so apakah struktur K? What is structure K? Maybe Sri can let me know. Would you know what is structure K? All right, this is something that you should know. The heart has got four of these structure K. Okay, and you need to tell me the function. All right, let me see. Yes, very good, Sri. This is a semi-lunar valve. Yeah, the most important is the word valve. You don't need to put semi-lunar, it's still all right. Okay, because the focus of this question is for you to recognize that it is a valve. If you put semi-lunar, of course, it has to be correct. It is correct. But if you put bicuspid valve or tricuspid valve, then it's wrong already, because you already committed yourself to a wrong answer. But if you're not sure, all right, if you're not sure, you just say valve. It's perfectly fine. Okay, then the next mark, all right, this is P1 is 1 mark. Then you need to tell me the function. Okay, story type. All right, good evening or good afternoon. Story type, avoid backflow of blood. Yes, avoiding the blood from flowing back. Flowing backwards is called backflow. All right, or you can say ensure one-way flow of blood or preventing backflow of blood. Okay, memastikan aliran darah adalah sehala atau mencegah aliran balik darah. All right. Okay. Yes. Very good. All right. Prevent the backflow of blood from the pulmonary artery to the right ventricle. Yes, that is very precise because the specific place is between the right ventricle and the pulmonary artery. So once the blood goes up, you do not want it to go backwards. That means if it goes backwards, that means you will never reach the lungs, right? The blood will be going through the lungs. Okay, usually the first question is very easy. All right, the first part lah, I would say out of the 20 marks, the first 1 or 2 questions is no problem. All right, short only, short and sweet. Okay, now we go to the next one. Okay, still the same question 1, but it's section B lah, right? Or A2, sorry. So Encik Mustafa mengalami, it has a sino-atrium, wrong spelling, sorry, atrium node failure. All right, failure, that means something doesn't work there. The sino-atrium node does not work. And his doctor suggested that a device is inserted into his heart. Okay, they never tell you what device, but you should know if the sino-atrium node is not working, there is a replacement that can function the same way as the sino-atrium node. It will sometimes function the same way. So that means you need to know the function of sino-atrium node first lah. All right, now, so what's the question? Explain how the device works. Okay, 3 marks. So always remember when there is 3 marks, you need to have 3 points. All right, maybe first point you say the name of the device. Okay, you get 1 mark from there. And then the second point and the third point, you have to say how does it work? Okay, what is the function? How is it going to help Encik Mustafa? What does it do? Okay, so anyone got the answer for this? Can you tell me either Sri or story type? What is the name of this device? They didn't give you the name. They don't give you the name, that means you can give the name. And there will be marks. Usually marks will be given. Yes, anyone? Anyone among my 15 audience here? Okay. Yeah, it's quite sad, right? I only got 15 students, right? That's okay, all right? Anyone who wants to learn, you're most welcome. Okay, Augustus, yeah. Electronic pacemaker acts as sino-atrial node. Yes, you have got the keyword that is the pacemaker. Yeah, what we want is this word pacemaker, which is it carries out the same function as your sino-atrial node, that is to regulate, to control the rhythm of the heartbeat. Okay, so let's see. You that one only you get 1 mark. Yeah, because you mentioned pacemaker only. So how to get 3 marks? All right. So you mentioned this is a pacemaker. All right, or if you do not know the name, you can also say this device replaces the function of sino-atrial node. All right, so Sri Siva, you get pacemaker. Yeah, Augusta, yep, you get correct P1 also. So Sri also you get P1. All right, okay, next. So you gotta say something else because you have 3 marks. So you gotta say something else. Okay, now next, what does the device do? The device triggers. Trigger means starts, mencetuskan. It starts the impulse. So impulse is actually electrical impulse. It's a signal, electrical signal, right? Our muscles, the heart muscle is actually muscle, right? The wall of the heart is muscle. So it all works on electrical impulse. So it needs to start the heartbeat. It's from the impulse. The impulse will start the heartbeat. Okay, so P2, the second point is the device triggers impulse, or you can say starts the impulse. Okay, then and it sends this impulse. The impulse, once it started, it will be sent to the atrium walls, the 2 walls on the right hand side, on the atrium, all right, on the walls of the right atrium, and then later, of course, it will send to the left lah, right? That is the conduction of the impulse. So menghantar impulse ke dinding atrium kanan. You don't have to say kanan. Okay. Electrical impulse, yes, you can. Gavin Jong, because you say the word impulse, the most important thing is you got the word impulse. Okay, replace the heartbeat. Okay, Shri, if you say replace the heartbeat artificially is not correct because it doesn't replace the heartbeat. Your heart still have to beat. If you say replace the heartbeat means the heart no need to beat already. This thing, the pacemaker will beat for the heart. No, the heart still have to beat, but the starting, the impulse cannot be started by the original sino-atrial node. You need this pacemaker to start the impulse. Okay, so that replace the heartbeat artificially is wrong. You can replace the sino-atrial node, correct. Okay, but you cannot replace heartbeat. Heartbeat still have to work. Okay, all right, right. Yeah, Gavin, you can do that. Use that because your impulse is already there. Okay, so send the impulse to the wall of this this atrium wall. And what does it do? It will start the contraction of the heart muscle. Okay, so the contraction of the atrium heart muscle occurs, or heartbeat occurs, or it will initiate or it starts the heartbeat. Okay, so most importantly, you have to mention this device will start the impulse, and this impulse will make the heart beat. Okay, it doesn't replace the heartbeat, but it makes the heart start the beating. All right, okay, yeah. So later you want to copy this down, you can click back the same link, all right, to watch it again, then you can copy down. Okay, or you can just snapshot the screen there and then you can copy down. All right, you can always watch the recording again and again. All right, you can share to your friend as well. Okay, let me go through now. Any 2 points. Okay, you just need 2 points on it. All right, is it 3 points or 2 points? Sorry, let me check. 3 points. Actually, 3 points. Okay, next one. So next point is not 3 points. It's not 2 points. 3 points. Okay, next question. I get a bit more challenging. You will see the question becomes a little bit more difficult. Okay, diagram 1.2a, the one on the left hand side, shows a longitudinal section of a normal heart of a child. Normal, while the one on the right hand side, 1.2b, shows a longitudinal section of the heart of the child with a defective septum. Okay, defective means cacat. Something is not correct, something is not normal there, right? So it also shows you the diagram. You can see very clearly this is a defective septum. Septum is the wall that divides the left and the right side of the heart. Okay, the left ventricle and the right ventricle, right, of the heart. Okay, right. Next, anything on the comment here? Right, nothing. Yeah. All right. Let me continue. So this is the scenario. Where is the question? Okay, next page. The question asks you. Wait, all right. Next one. Based on 1.2b, the one on the right hand side, right? Explain how the septum defect, that means this problem, affects the blood circulatory system of the child. This is where it gets a little bit difficult, right? Because you just know that there's a hole there, right? In fact, this is called a hole in the heart. Okay, a hole in the heart is where the septum, there is a hole in the septum, all right? And therefore, there is left side of the heart and the right side of the heart, there is blood, right? The one on the right is deoxygenated blood. The one on the left side of the heart, which is actually on your right, from the diagram here, it is red, that means it's oxygenated blood. There will be a mixture. Most students will just be able to say a mixture of oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood will occur. Yes, very good. That's only 1 mark. But most will not be able to give other points. And here there are 5 points. Okay, let me check your answers. Yes, that's why I mentioned Sri Siva causes the mixture, right? Because of the septum is not divided well. So correct, Sri Siva, you get the P1, or rather you get P2, I think. Then story type also same point, you will mix. So let me show you the scheme. All right, how we should answer it in order to get 5 marks. So the first thing is because there is a hole there, the oxygenated blood, that means on the left side of the heart, the left atrium, it will flow through the right atrium. Ventricle. The left ventricle, the blood in the left ventricle will flow to the right ventricle. And why not the other way around? Why not from the right flow to the left? It's because the left side of the heart has got higher pressure, okay, because of the contraction of the muscle on the left ventricle is stronger, so pressure, the pressure of the blood there is always higher on the left side. So you cannot say oxygenated blood will flow from the right ventricle to the left ventricle. That is wrong. Okay, we won't accept that. You have to say from left to right because the pressure in the left heart, the left side of the heart is always higher than the right side. Okay, so this is correct, lah, right? So P2, that's why many students will be able to write the blood, oxygenated blood and the deoxygenated blood will be mixed or can mix. Okay, so at most, many will get these 2 mark points, right? Yeah, okay. Sri, you mentioned one point here. Blood pressure will decrease. Now, you have to mention which side the blood pressure will decrease. Which side? Is it the left or the right? Because if you don't say, then it's wrong. Because one side, the pressure will increase. The other side, the pressure will decrease. Okay? So, Sri, maybe you can repair your answer by giving more facts. Which side? Blood pressure in which ventricle will decrease? Sri, you have another answer before that. Less oxygen is pumped to the other part of the body by aorta. Yes, that one comes later, right? Because you have some of the blood flow into the other side. The left-hand side is supposed to go to the aorta. So the aorta will be carrying less oxygen, correct? Yes, good. Blood pressure in the left ventricle decreases. Yes, correct. Okay, in the left ventricle, because the left ventricle has got higher pressure, so it will flow to this side, so the pressure will decrease. Okay, so volume of blood, you can see pressure, so you can also say volume. The volume of blood in the right ventricle will increase because it flows to the right. So you get more blood in the right side. Okay, and the same point, you can also say left ventricle, the volume of the blood will decrease. Okay, so either way, you still get the same point, which is P3. Okay, and then think about what happens if you got more blood in the right ventricle. What is the repercussion? Apakah akibatnya? Right? And you got left ventricle have less volume of blood. What's going to happen? You have to don't stop there. Don't stop there. You still can carry forward the logic. All right. So let's see the next point. Now, so more blood will be pumped to the lungs. This is the one that go to the right ventricle. More blood go to the right ventricle, and you know the right ventricle will pump the blood go to the lungs, right? So now you get more blood will be pumped to the lungs, and it will increase the pressure in the lungs. Put the blood more blood there, right? And as a result, the blood vessels in the lungs can be damaged because of the high pressure. Okay, so it should not have high pressure there. Okay, the capillaries in the lungs are very delicate, so it may burst. It may be damaged. That is if you got too much blood flow to the right ventricle. Okay, then P5. Right, what else you can say in order to get your full marks? Next one. So we said the blood go to the right ventricle, the pressure will decrease. Pressure will increase, sorry. Then the one on the left ventricle, because the blood is less, now the pressure will drop, right? The blood pressure, it will decrease. So the heart will pump harder. The heart will pump harder, not faster. Faster is wrong. Heart pump harder so that it can increase the blood pressure. Okay, so you're working, your left side of your heart is working more now. It's working harder. It is pressing harder, it's contracting harder, right? And it will have akibat also. Okay, akibat is your left ventricle wall becomes thicker. Just like when you exercise, why your muscles will increase in the bulk. You know, people like, do the weightlifting, why their biceps are so bengkak on, it's because they train it, they exercise it. So when your muscles is trained, you do a lot of contraction and all that, your muscle bulk will increase. So the same thing when you for the biceps and all that, you want to train up, you go and carry weights, your biceps will membesar, right? Same thing, your left ventricle wall, because it's contracting much more harder, right? Harder, it will become thicker. That is the akibat. All right. Okay. Next, what can happen also? Other points you can talk about is heart failure. Okay. So it didn't function as the way it should function. So we call it heart failure. All right. And causing the oxygenated blood supply to the cell to decrease, like you mentioned just now, right? Sri, you said the less oxygen will be pumped to the body through the aorta. Correct. That will give you P8 because botol already there, right? Less pressure. So the oxygenated blood going to the cells will decrease. Or you can say any symptom related to lack of oxygen supply to the body, like pale, the whole face become pale, or the heartbeat become faster, right? Sweating, panting. Panting means the chungap is like not enough oxygen like that, right? Fatigue means tiredness, tired. So any one of these points, I got 8 here, it will be enough to give you your maximum marks, which is 5. Okay, so usually instead of just saying the blood will mix, usually students can write 1 point minute, not enough. You got to dig more points. Yes, shortness of breath also can. Shortness of breath, Kimberly. Shortness of breath is a sign of lack of oxygen. Yes, so in heart attack, you will have shortness of breath also. Okay, so blood pressure decrease, blood pressure left. Yeah. Okay, so Kimberly, that's correct. Shortness of breath can be accepted, right? Because that is a sign of lack of oxygen. Okay, right. Next. So that's actually panting also, right? Okay, next part of the question, which is the C part. Okay, what is that? Next question. Numbness in the hands and feet. Yes, can. Lack of oxygen supply to any parts will give you this kind of symptoms. Any symptoms that is related to that. Okay, usually what we will say is all this. Any symptom that is related. So it means you notice that this is not maximum. There can be more. As long as it's correct, you can give any symptom that's related. We call this a problem. It's called ventricular septum defect. That means the septum got masalah, it got lubang. Okay, actually this is a hole in a heart problem. Right? Did you know that as a fetus, you're a baby, when you're a baby, fetus, every fetus or every baby that is ever born will actually have 2 holes in the heart. Okay, actually 2 holes. 2 holes, yeah. When the baby is inside the fetus, actually there is 2 what you call there are 2 holes there, right? Is to bypass the blood because the baby does not need to breathe. So the blood system, it bypasses the lungs. Right? It bypasses the lungs, so it doesn't go through the lungs. So that's why there's a hole there between the pulmonary artery and the aorta there. There's a hole there. And then there's another hole there at the septum. So it makes the blood supply, the flow is a little bit faster. So it's actually normal, perfectly normal. But when the baby is born, okay, just after the baby is born, this septum should close. The valve, the opening there should close. If it closes, that means this is a normal child. But in certain cases, there are, I don't know how many out of 100 right? There will be cases where these 2 openings there, they do not close. And therefore, that's why you get hole in the heart syndrome for babies. Some children, they are born. Actually, everybody is born with 2 holes in the heart. It's just that it just doesn't close up. Okay, that is the difference. All right, okay. So something maybe is a fun fact for you. You may not many people know that, right? You have 2 holes in the heart when you were a fetus. Okay, let's go to the next part. This is be careful. Next, every question, every essay, either is question 9, 10, or 11. Usually they will have a compare and contrast. Compare and contrast between this and this, or this and that, or whatever, right? You have to read carefully. So this is a comparison question. Okay, so diagram 1.3 shows a part of the human blood circulatory system and the lymphatic system. So they are together. Okay, the one in blue and red, that is the blood circulatory system. The one in green, okay, if it's not green actually, it's colorless. Our lymph is colorless. They just put color there, just to see that easier for you to see. This is the lymphatic system. Okay, what is the question? The question here is, coming. Based on diagram 1.3, differentiate. Differentiate means bezakan. Say the differences only. No need to say similarity. All right. If they say compare and contrast, you have to say similarity at least 1 or 2. Then the rest of the points can go for differences. But if they say compare and contrast, banding dan basic. But if differentiate, no need to say similarity. There is no marks for similarity. All right, go straight for the differences. So comparing, there are three things to compare. First is blood vessel P and blood vessel Q. You should know what they are. Okay, later ask from you. Who can tell me what is blood vessel P, blood vessel Q? Please type. Okay, next thing to compare, there are three things to compare, three sets to compare. Fluid R and fluid S. Okay, fluid R is this one, the yellow thing here, right? The liquid that surrounds the cells, that bathes the cell. I've given you the clue already. Then this one, fluid S, is inside this tube. The tube that is green, but it's not green. This is just to show the diagram. This is the fluid inside the tube there. All right. Type what is fluid R, what is fluid S. One more thing to compare, capillary T and capillary U. Okay, so you can see capillary T contains what? Capillary U is containing the fluid S. Capillary U contains the fluid S. Capillary T, it's part of the blood system. Okay, now 10 marks. I think it's still 10 marks. So how do you get 10 marks? You have got how many things to compare? 3 sets. Now in order to get maximum marks, right, just to let you know, maximum marks, you must have at least 1 point that is correct from each part. Okay, you must have something, at least one point from the P and Q correct. You must have 1 point from the comparing R and S correct. Then you have another point from T and U that is correct. Then the rest of the marks, you got 3 marks already, right? The rest of the marks, 7 marks, you can get from anywhere. Right? But if you only talk about P and Q, you talk about R and S, and then you never say anything about T and U, you cannot get 10 marks. You cannot get 10 marks, you only get maximum 9 marks only. Because you left out the syarat there. The syarat is you have to have at least 1 point correct for each comparison. Then you can get maximum. Okay, let me see answers now. Okay, vein and artery is for which one, Sumati? Sumati, are you talking about P and Q or T and U? Okay, Sumati is the lymph. I do not know what you're referring to. It's better you say. Story type P is arterial. Yeah, missing one R. A-R-T-E-R-I-O-L-E. Yeah, P correct is arterial. And Q venule. Q is venule. Yes, very good. All right, you should be able to recognize. Usually it'll be colored red and blue okay, in the diagram. One coming from the heart is the artery or arterial. And then the one going back to the heart is the vein. Okay, or venule. Venule is the smaller one. Vein is the bigger one. Okay, let's look at the answer sheet. Oh, I got somebody who typed in something here. Lumen P is thicker. Lumen of P, yes. Lumen P is thicker. While lumen of Q is thinner. Oh, lumen. Lumen, you cannot say thicker and thinner. Shri, you cannot say thicker and thinner. Lumen, if you say thicker and thinner, is referring to the wall or referring to the muscle layer. When you say lumen, you must say bigger or smaller. Lumen is the empty space. So empty space, you don't say thick or thin. You say thick or thin for the membrane, can, or the muscle layer, can, but not for lumen. Lumen, you have to say bigger. Yes. So narrow. So lumen of P is wider, can. Lumen of P is wider. Whereas, sorry, terbalik you, right. Lumen of P is the narrower. Yeah, terbalik, sorry. Lumen of P is artery, right? Wider, narrower. Lumen of Q is wider. Yes, correct. You say narrow and wide is fine. Lumen big or small also can, right? But not thicker and thinner. Okay, now your next point. P transport oxygenated blood while Q transport deoxygenated blood. Okay, now let's look at the scheme. Right. Now, very important thing here, how to write your answer. A lot of students, teacher, can I write in paragraph or not for essay? Answer is, okay, yes, you can. You can write in paragraph. In fact, if you write in paragraph, it's easier for the pemeriksaan to see to cari your points, to find for your points. But you must take note, tapi you must remember, if you write in paragraph form, you must make sure it's not just one word. You must put in sentence. Try to be in sentence. Don't just put one word. Has or not. Has what? Don't have what? You have to mention the specific thing, right? Don't just put just one word. Say in sentence. And also one more thing. Another mistake that most students give or do when they answer essay question is they like to say in paragraph, separate paragraph. That means they write everything about vessel P. They compare. They want to compare P and Q, right? They want to write everything about vessel P in one paragraph. And then after that, another paragraph below there, they write vessel Q. Don't do this. Don't do this, because this is the worst way you can answer comparing. When you want to compare, you don't compare in separate paragraphs. You have to compare in the same sentence. Example, then we can see the comparison. For example, vessel P is this, but vessel Q is this. Write in the same sentence, and you must be comparing the same thing. Don't go and say P this story lah, then the Q go and say something else that is not related. It must be comparing the same fact. Okay, you understand? I hope you understand. I remember this, because you will you akan rugi lah, right? I would say you will rugi if you write like that for your SPM. Okay, so look at the table form in the answer table. P is artery or P is arterial, but Q is vein or Q is venule. You can present it like this in table form, or you can write in sentence form. You must write P is artery or arterial, but Q is vein or Q is venule. Either one, but it must be in the same sentence. Don't separate. Okay, then you get P1. Then only we can see your comparison. That's why it's very important. A lot of people just, sometimes you just see, everything in one paragraph, P. Then another paragraph is Q. No, you will lose, because we only see the first sentence. Yang lain-lain kita tak payah baca. Okay, that is not the way to write answer for comparing. Okay, so a question here. Teacher, I have a question. All right, let me see a question. Is the bronchial wall of a chronic bronchitis patient thick? The wall will be thick, yes, because the lumen will be smaller, it will narrow. So the person will have the thickened, a lot of mucus for this chronic bronchitis patient. So the person very difficult to breathe is because of the lumen is small. Now, lumen is small means the muscle layer is thick, isn't it? Because why is the lumen small? Because the layer is thick, So the layer is thick, that means the lumen becomes small. Understand or not? Right? So it is correct. You can say the lumen will be narrower, or you can say the wall, okay, the muscle wall, the smooth muscle of this bronchial wall is thicker. Correct. Okay. Shortness of breath. Which is this? I show you the wrong thing. No, should be narrow. Here. Yes. All right. Correct. Okay. So let me go back to the question and show you some more answers. Okay. The next point to compare is always easiest. Talk about the wall, artery, and the vein. The artery and the vein, the wall, the thickness is different. Okay. The artery has got a thick wall, while the vessel Q has thin wall. Okay, compare the same thing in one sentence. Okay, next, the wall is, you say thick, thick, that is more muscular or more elastic. Okay, then compared to the Q has a less elastic or less muscular wall. Comparing the same thing. Okay, next point. Next point, has no valve. All right, P, that means the artery no valve, because it doesn't need to, because the pressure of the blood is good enough. The blood will not flow backwards. Okay. Okay. Blazinite. Yeah. Okay. Welcome. Yeah. Bronchial wall. Yeah. Correct. I just answered the question right. Yeah. Okay. Right. So for this one, Q has valve. Yes. That's one of the features of the vena. Okay. Or the vena. Right. Next, so you already got 4 points. You just list up as many as you can. Don't worry about how the permixer will count for you. Just think of as many as you can, then let the permixer do the counting for you, right? Think of as many as you can. Here got 8 points. Okay, also comparing your vein and your artery, right? So lumen, lumen size. So the muscular wall is thick, the lumen will be small because it takes up the space. If your layer is the muscle is thick, that means the space inside there, the middle part will be small. Okay, then the lumen of the vesicule will be large. Okay, so put in one sentence, right? It'll be very clear cut. Blood pressure in vessel P is high, while blood pressure in vessel Q is low. Okay, artery and vein. Yeah. Vessels transport blood out of the heart. This is the that is the artery. The function of artery is actually not to say this one. You have an answer, right? Shri, you answered me by saying P transports oxygenated blood while Q transports deoxygenated blood with a sharat. That sentence is not 100% correct. Okay, because there are few arteries. There are arteries that carry deoxygenated blood, and there's also vein that carries oxygenated blood. So you cannot use that as a definition for artery and vein. Okay, so this one for the vein, you say transport blood back to the heart. So the important thing about why is it called artery and why is it called vein is actually not the blood that it carries, not see the type of blood, whether it's oxygenated or deoxygenated. Whether it's artery or vein is depending on the direction of the flow. If the blood is flowing to the heart, that blood vessel must be artery. And if this blood vessel is carrying blood away from the heart, then it must be a vein. So it doesn't matter whether it's oxygenated or deoxygenated, it is not important in the definition of artery and vein. Okay, right. Can we talk about blood pressure in the blood vessels? Yes, we just talked about here, P6, Junhan. You see the blood pressure is high, right? And then the blood pressure is low. Yeah, you can talk about that. All right, okay. So next point, P7 is done. Now P8 will come to your oxygenated. That's why you must put here, contains oxygenated blood except the pulmonary vein. Pulmonary artery. That is the one that, even though we call artery, but it carries deoxygenated blood. Okay, so it's different, right? So for vessel Q, it contains deoxygenated blood, that means it's a vein, except pulmonary vein. But pulmonary vein will carry oxygenated blood. So there is a sharat, there is a exception. We call it an exception. Exception to the rule. So that's why remember, the definition of artery and vein is not what kind of blood it carries, but the direction of flow. Okay, Junhan, welcome. You're most welcome. Okay, let's go on to the next part. Right, just now the A part is to compare P and Q, right? Then the next one is comparing the fluid, the two types of fluid there, right? Fluid R and fluid S. Can anyone tell me what is fluid R? What is fluid S? Fluid R is the one that surrounds the cells. Fluid S is the fluid that goes back into that green color tube just now. Okay, what is the name? Can you tell me the name of the fluid R and what is the name of fluid S? Yeah. Anyone? I think you'll be, thinking. All these facts should be at the tip of fingertips because your exam is coming soon, right? All these are very basic. You should know. Yes, very good. I assume the first one is for R, interstitial fluid. Yes, it's the fluid that surrounds the cells, right? Your cell environment is not dry. It's always got water there or liquid. That is called the interstitial fluid. The S is the one, after this fluid, some of it will go back inside. Go into this, 85% go into the blood, 15% will enter back this green color tube. Is actually the lymphatic system. So the liquid here is called lymph. Okay, now let's see. So fluid R is interstitial fluid, while fluid S is lymph. So write in full sentence. It's easier. It's nicer, more complete. Okay, let's talk about the content. What is inside? Right? We talk about fluid R, the interstitial fluid will have a lower number of lymphocytes. The lymphocyte is the white blood cell that produces antibodies. Okay, you have less. In the lymph system, the fluid inside the lymphatic system, there will be higher number of lymphocytes. Okay, higher number of lymphocytes. Okay, next point to compare, right? The content, comparing low fat content. In the interstitial fluid, there'll be low fat, right? But in the lymph, there'll be higher content of fat. Because if you remember, this lymph is connected, the lymphatic vessel is connected to the lacteal in the, the villus. The villus, the one that you learn in your chapter 9, the digestion system, assimilation, the absorption of food. The middle part there, there's a lacteal, right? It actually connected to your lymph. So that's why the fats, right, the glycerol and fatty acid that gets diffused inside, it will be there. It will be in the lacteal, and it will flow together with the lymph. That's why the content of the fat will be higher compared to the interstitial fluid. Okay, next point. The interstitial fluid will have a higher content, higher concentration of glucose, amino acid, and oxygen, because these are the substances that supplied to the cell. Okay, so these substances diffuse out from the blood capillaries and go into the interstitial fluid, and later it will go into the cell, supply it to the cell. Okay, whereas your lymph is nothing to do with supplying all these things, right? So it will have a lower content of glucose, amino acid, or oxygen. You don't need to write all. If you write one only, it's considered that point. We give you the P12. Okay, now P13. There will be less waste product in the interstitial fluid because most of it would have diffused into the blood, the capillary, okay, and then it will be connected to the vein, and it will be brought back to the heart, and then it will be pumped to the kidney and so on, right? So this one will be more. Lymph will have more waste product, more carbon dioxide content. Okay, next, last point. Where is this interstitial fluid found? It is found in the spaces between the cells. It bathes the cell. It envelops the cells. Okay, it forms what you call the internal environment of the body. Okay, and then what about this fluid S? It's found inside the capillary. We call the lymphatic capillary, okay, or the lymphatic vessel or lymphatic capillary that's been used. Okay, so we can talk about so many things actually. All right. Next, right? Any questions now? No one. Now T and U. T is what? T is the blood capillary system. Blood capillary. The U is the lymphatic capillary. All right. Okay, so give the name. This is blood capillary, the one that's red color there, right? This is part of the blood circulatory system. Whereas for the U, the green color one, that is the lymphatic system. Okay, it's the lymphatic capillary. Okay, so give the name. Because the name is not given. If you give the name, that it will be in the skin. Okay. Next, what about the feature? This blood capillary is always continuous. The blood never stops somewhere. It will be continue back and it will flow back to the heart. Okay. The blood vessel come out from the heart and it flow back to the heart. It's a continuous tube, continuous vessel. From the artery, it goes to the capillary, then it goes back to the vein, and it goes back into the heart. Okay. But for the capillary, which is the lymphatic capillary, it is close-ended. You will see the picture just now, right? It's like fingers like that, right? The green color one, it just stops there. It is to collect. The function is to collect all these, the fluid the fluid and all the substances into the lymphatic system. All right. So it's a close-ended tube. It is a blunt tube or blunt vessel, bertutup, right? It does not connect to anywhere. The other side is closed. Okay, then the size of the diameter for the blood capillary is very small, right? It's so small that for capillaries, the red blood cells, they go single file. It's so small, it's actually 8 micrometer only the size, the diameter of it. Okay, T contains red blood cells while U does not contain red blood cells. Yes, can also. Good. T contains red blood cells. Close-ended considered structure of, it is, yes, Seamus. Wait, let me answer your Sri first. Just now, yes, I can accept this point. T contains Ripple cells, while U does not contain Ripple cells. Yeah, can. You can talk about the component. Seamus, close-ended considered a structure. Yes, the sympathetic capillary is always close-ended one. It will just uh the end part that always goes into the in between all the cells, the interstitial there is to collect all the additional, all the 15%, 85% goes back to the venous end of the capillary, right? The 15% doesn't go back there. The 15% goes into this capillary system. All right, okay. Now, so the diameter for the capillary is bigger compared to the blood capillary. All right, okay. So next point, has no valve. Capillary T, which is capillary. Capillary no valve one. The valve only in the vein, all right, or in the venule maybe. In the capillary is too tiny and too small. It doesn't have valve. For the lymphatic capillary, yes, all right. Lymph capillary there is valve or no, or along the way, somewhere along there is a valve here, and somewhere along the way there's another valve there, because it wants to prevent the backflow of the lymph. Okay, that you need to make sure that the lymph goes back, which is up. It goes up. It doesn't collect in your feet. If it collects in your feet, then you will have, bengkak. Your feet all bengkak and swollen. We call it edema. Okay. Okay. Last point, 19. Contains blood. Yeah, that was a point here. Contains red blood cells, right? Contains or transports blood. Okay, this one. Now, this one you don't say does not contain, but what does it contain? It contains lymph. The liquid is called lymph. Okay. In order to get 10 marks, right, you need to have at least one correct point from the three components, just now the three parts of the question that you need to answer. Right? You need to answer the comparing the P and Q, then you compare R and S, then you're comparing T and U, right? You need to have 1 point each. That means already 3. Then you can take anywhere lah. You can choose anywhere lah. If you only have got 2 parts that is correct, that other part no marks, that means then you cannot get 10 marks. Or maybe you didn't answer that one component. You didn't answer the last part there. Okay, you cannot get 10 marks. You read everything, so you only get 9 marks. Understand or not? All right. Okay, so this I find is quite a challenging question, because mostly students, don't know what to say, don't know what to write, and how to write it, and so on. Okay. What are the 3 tables? What do you mean by Junha? What do you mean by 3 tables? You meaning the middle part there is the aspect, is it? Like for example, you want to talk about valve in the middle. In the middle, you put there valve, and then the left hand side you say absent. Then the right hand side you say present. Is that what you mean? Using T and U, or is it better to be different? Okay. Use T and U if you're not sure of the name. Because if your T and U you got it wrong, then everything is wrong, So it's every time you answer question also, if they ask you just unless they ask you apa nama, what is the name of T? Then of course you cannot say T lah. You have to give the name lah. But if you're asking, they ask you about explain the feature of T, then you can say T has what. You don't need to say the name, because in case you will get it wrong, then the fact is wrong already. Okay, yes, Junha you can write the middle one, but you don't need to lah. If you want to write the middle one, you say valve, then you get present, absent, also can, right? Can. If you make things easy, you just put 2, has valve, has no valve. Also can, easier. You can have 3 as well. But make sure the important thing is both sides you are comparing the same thing. Don't talk about different story. This one grandmother's story, this one grandfather's story, different. Cannot. You have to be comparing the same points. Okay, right, can. So what else was talking? This one 3, just remember when you talk about this one, if you want to compare, you can compare like this. You put a table, capillary T, capillary U, right? Then you want to write the full name, then you write the next point. Okay, P15, the point there. Capillary T is blood capillary, while capillary U is lymphatic capillary. Then you get 1 point. Okay? If you don't know the name, so never mind, go to the next point. Say something else. Alright, but be careful. If you get the name wrong, definitely wrong already. It's a bit risky. If you don't know the name, then use the symbol. Okay? Understand? If you don't know the name, use the symbol. If you're very sure you know the name, then you can use the name. Mm. Okay, this one for structure question also lah. All right. So if they ask you what is the name of tea, then of course you got no choice. You have to give the name lah. Mm. Okay, right. Okay, so today I make it simple and short and sweet. I don't want to burden you with so many questions. So today I just do one question. All right, next week or when I have another time when I'm free, probably next week or the week after lah, I will do another question and I'll take another challenging question. It will be my series number 3 lah. So this is series number 2. Okay, all right. So let me share with you my Telegram name in case if you want to ask me questions, most welcome lah. If you want to ask me questions, I will try to answer for you. All right. So this is my Telegram name. If you would like to contact me, you just go to Telegram and you message me lah. Right. Okay. And I just want to show you my channel. I have many other videos that I made earlier. If you feel that you want revision on any part which maybe you did not get when the teacher was explaining, you're not sure, right? So you can see this is my channel name. All right, www.youtube.com. You just search there, or you can just type the whole thing, Big E Chong, right? That is the name of my channel lah. So you can go through. There's so many. The Form 4 syllabus is all complete already, except for chapter 2, I think, or chapter 1. Chapter 1 and chapter 2, yeah. The rest, chapter 3 onwards until chapter 15 is all complete. Chapter Form 5 also got some, right, but not complete lah. So next year I'll continue and make some more videos. Okay, all right. So thank you very much, Junhan, Sri, Siva, and Seamus. Those I can mention and I see your name lah, right? I cannot see your name, I cannot mention that, right? Okay, who else is there? Blazy Knight. Okay, Blazy Knight. Story Type. All right, thank you for being with me today. To Sumati as well. Sorry, Sumati and Michelle Ting, Kimberly. All right, and thank you for watching. Gavin Jong as well. Augustus Yap. So many today. Very good. A lot of people give comments. Again, Cikgu Hasnita, I'm not sure whether you're still here, but thank you for your support. Okay, so I will end my Sierra now. If you would like to get in touch with me, please do. I will most willing to answer your questions. All right. So all right. Okay. So I hope to see you another time, right? Maybe next week or the week after that, Saturday, 4 o'clock. Okay. Bye-bye, everyone. Good night. Good night. Good evening. Okay. Have a good week. Good weekend. Okay. Bye-bye.